Alrighty. Welcome, guys. Thanks for being here. Really, I really appreciate just feeling grateful for this platform and being able to communicate with people from outside my little circle of my own personal life. I'm just gonna. Ooh, there we go. This is like a incense matchbook. Maybe you've seen these. I really enjoy these. They don't stay lit for very long, but they do like fill the room pretty quickly with an aroma. So today, obviously, I think I was able to make a title for this live stream. Um, Remedies for a tired mind. And is this sort of out of focus? Um, so yeah, I have been thinking a lot about ways to better. Why is this not focusing? Huh. Let's see. Get a little closer, maybe. I don't know if it's like the smoke from the incense or something. Anyway, so in my last video, I talked a bit about how I had really just let my mind get the best of me. Life itself did get more chaotic than usual, but it was the thoughts that just pulled me away from that place I'm trying to stay. In Asha, as we call it, in the frequency of just joy, peace, bliss, connectedness, truth. What I realized is that I've sort of like let myself get out of shape over the last month or so, or longer actually. It's been happening for a while, but yeah, get out of shape mentally. And when we have constant stimulation on our mind, it's the same as when like we're constantly using our bodies. We get tired mentally, and so when we're tired, we make worse decisions. We're less conscious. We fall out of our routine. So a meditation technique that I use that kind of helps understand this process, and I talked about it in my video yesterday, is we imagine our consciousness in the present moment as this center that we're trying to stay in the present. And think of the word concentration in like I imagine it's like a Spanish word. Concentration. Con or con in Spanish is with. Centration. Centracion. I don't know. Center. So with center. So we're thinking with center when we're meditating. So it's not that we're trying to empty the mind, but that there's this focal point that we keep returning back to and thinking about and exploring like one core concept. So, or it doesn't have to be a concept. Sometimes it's just like the beads or the breath or some focal point to keep the mind anchored and not floating off to wherever it goes. So there's this sort of like repetition that you're doing to build your muscle of concentration, where each time you find the mind leaving that center of let's imagine we're just doing a mantra of Asha, 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 or whatever you love, love, love. It could be anything. So you're trying to just repeat the mantra, and I gave a similar example yesterday where the mind just jumps to a random thought. Thought arises, and depending on the nature of that thought, there's a sensation paired with our thoughts. So if it's a thought of stress, there's a bodily response. Oh yeah, I've got my Bombino shirt on tonight. I think this guy is just the coolest. I mean, if you could see him live, he's just got something special. But hey, there it was, right? Like a thought came up, I noticed this, and it just pulled me right away. So that's happening all throughout our day, and our mind is like just going on this roller coaster with stimulation, and it's just bringing us back to these memories, or making us worry about the future, or maybe like it could just be a total daydream. But it's working. The mind is working and tiring itself out. And a remedy, as I said, for so the pumping of the muscle is recognizing that your mind has gone off somewhere and bringing it back to that center point. So sometimes with the beads, what I'll do is I'll be repeating a mantra in my mind, and so one mantra is one bead, one repetition, another bead, another repetition, another bead. And as I continue to do that, eventually the mind jumps to some random place. And then I'll notice, and I'll look at the strand of beads. And this is a short strand. I think there's only 12, yeah? Oftentimes by like 5 or 6, you're already somewhere else. And right away, I go back to the first bead and I start again. So think of this 12 bead as like that's like the 5-pound dumbbell. Then imagine something like this with, that's like you're lifting some serious weight. If you can make it all the way through the whole strand and not let your mind go, that's some strong concentration. And by no means where I'm at this point. At previous points in my life where I've been like really strategic, or really devoted to the cultivation of my attention and concentration, I've been able to like get much further. And when you spend more time in that place, in that center, as I described in the video yesterday, the center, you can imagine it as the center of a flower. And the petals are these, they can be beautiful, and kind of where the eyes go. They're pulling your mind, the thoughts are pulling your consciousness away from that center. So we're imagining like a line going up. You realize, oh, the mind's gone somewhere, and you bring it back, and that's the petal. So there's these petals forming around the center of the flower. The more time you spend not getting distracted by the petals, but staying in that center, eventually you start to go deeper down into the root of your consciousness. Sorry if my voice is a little raspy, getting over being sick. So what you start to realize, or where the awareness goes when you go down that route and you start to basically just witness the process happening from an outside perspective, soon enough the thought arises, and it's not like you disconnect from it. So you stop paying attention to the thoughts, and you're just staying in this place of just witnessing sensations throughout your body, the breath, the repetition of the mantra, if that's what you're doing. And then we go deeper. Well, first I'll say that place of observation is very relaxing and very peaceful, because now you're not along for the ride of that roller coaster. Whether you could be thinking stressful thoughts that are activating emotions. Here, let me try a little water. Got 3 of you guys. Say hello if you're listening. I see you there, Magus. I appreciate you being here, of course. So where was I? This is where we can start to like relax and gain some of our energy back by building that muscle, as I mentioned, doing repetitions of pulling your attention back to that center place, realigning the wheel of the ship and staying on course. which does take effort. Soon, it's almost an enjoyable experience where throughout your day, you're just going to continue realizing, oh, there I go again, there I go again. And that's why we meditate, is to not just get to have some cool experience while we're sitting there, but that so once we leave, we're better equipped to stay on track throughout our day when the demands of a stimulating outside world keep you, keep pulling your attention away. So what I'm saying, to kind of reiterate it all, what I'm saying is, when you are unaware of that process that's happening, you're just getting pulled away, um, on these just wild goose chases of, like, what are we even doing? Or it's like, are we trying to figure something out? Is there value in this, like, you know, I almost said mindless, like, thinking, but obviously, not mindless, but directionless thinking, like you're just along for the ride. Um, so eventually, though, as we just disconnect, this is while we're meditating now. In everyday life, this isn't going to happen, but when you're meditating, and I've touched on this before, when you get when you disconnect from those thoughts, more and more you start to let go of more and more, like, the awareness of the personality starts to slip away, because there's a lot of these thoughts that we're having are, like, directly tied to our identity. So you're kind of just letting go of that. And I've experienced this moment of, like, letting go of being Cole, and just releasing the subjectivity and stepping into the objectivity, where you are just a, a vessel for pure consciousness and awareness. And that is the most peaceful place to be. Like, there's just a oneness, and a like a yeah, just a deep connectedness with all that is. And I don't just mean the earth, I mean, like, just the universe itself. It sounds, I guess, kind of out there, but that's really how it feels when you're in that place, because you've removed your separateness at that point. You're not just stuck in your own identity, trying to please people, or achieve your dreams, which might be just rooted in, like, your egoism, and your superficiality a lot of the time. Like, your dreams, if sometimes you look at them and it's just a list of materials that you're looking to gain, and the dream is just a means for collecting. That can be a harsh, that can be a rude awakening. But again, the main point I wanted to bring to you guys tonight is that, if you're just winging it, and you're just, kind of living life, and some people really seem like they're, like, completely kind of just along for the ride and going through the motions, but they actually are very happy. Like, that's totally cool. I don't want to get in the way of someone who, unless of course they're, like, a menace to society. If they're just a positive force, like, let them be that way. No reason to overthink it, right? But for those who are, stressed, and just, like, there's a lot of people that I know who come into a room, and it's like, whoa, like, please, like, you've got to chill. Like, you are holding a lot of stress, and anxiety and worry, and, like, you need to let that go, because it just slapped me in the face. Like, those people are, like, again, they're suffering. They're at the mercy of their, like, uh, monkey mind, I guess. There's like a common example of just like thinking of the mind, or the consciousness really, as this like drunk monkey just going, like, just wandering and from one place to the next, knocking things over, just like, doesn't that sound like some people, I don't know, it takes some level of awareness and strategizing and like consciousness, over this process to establish control over yourself. Because again, yeah, I don't know how else to say it. Otherwise, you're just along for the ride, and that ride might be taking you to bad places, and you know, giving you bad ideas. And it's like, so to bring it back to where I got all this started, is like I really was struggling a lot over the past few weeks, feeling very low, thinking very bad thoughts, completely like, oh my gosh, if I could, like, if you could have seen me, I was, I had just suddenly become a shell of myself as soon as I uh, was invaded with these, like, yeah, self-deprecating thoughts, and just a lot, yeah, questioning my capabilities and my worth as a person. I'm gonna light another one of these here. um and so right, like those were just those thoughts taking me for a ride. And holy shit, I mean, I was giving up on myself. And like a dream that I've had my whole life almost, I was willing to just be like, yeah, I'll just pick something else, this isn't gonna work. What was I thinking? So now that I'm kind of back, so to speak, and feeling much better, I'm like, okay, I got to take this more seriously. I got to put a little more effort in. Now I'm gonna, really make a schedule for myself in terms of a practice of meditating and mindfulness, because that was the first thing that I threw out the window when things got a little hectic for me. That's what drove a lot of these thoughts, is just being overwhelmed by life, and the material demands of, yeah, it's literally, the financial stuff, time management stuff, and just the stress of that started making me ask myself these questions. And oh my, I mean, I felt like a completely different person, and it was like that, like it, yeah. So again, it just, some people have it, like some people have an easier time with that than others probably, or might not have as many like of those bad thoughts coming in. You might just hold a higher self-confidence, because a lot of those thoughts, I'm just kind of telling you about myself here, a lot of those thoughts existed in my mind for years and years and years, throughout my childhood and adolescence, through teenage years, everything. And it was just over the past couple of years that I've like let a ton of that stuff go, and developed a deep love for myself, um, and yeah, appreciation for what I have. Whereas before, I was kind of just feeling sorry for myself all the time. Um, I think I've sort of hopefully made my point. Again, like I didn't really plan on speaking so much about like the pure consciousness stuff, but that is, there's levels to this. Like, I guess level, one, or like the lowest level, if it's like a, uh whatever, the lowest level is that place where you're just along for the ride. Levels of consciousness, I guess. The next is that place slightly removed, the witness watching it all happen. Then there's a place even beyond that where there is no someone watching it happen. You're just consciousness. And that experience is incredibly profound and life changing. Um, and it really, what it does is it opens your heart to other people. You see other people in that light, and you realize like this is just a consciousness that has been, it's picked things up along the way, and here it is now in this kind of stressed and um I don't know how else, like, nicer or I don't want to use, like, some people just they are exuding a darkness that they're holding inside them, just, and I that's just driven by uh thoughts. um what I like to do, if it's cool with you guys, when we do the live streams, I'm gonna pull out the tarot cards, and I was just watching your video, Magus, if you're still with me, going through your decks, and those were making me appreciate, um, you know, it's been, I kind of went on a little spending spree or shopping spree, um, recently with the tarot cards. I think I have, yeah, I don't know, a good amount now. Whereas like before I only had a couple. But yeah, so I've got this one here. It's the Sun and Moon Tarot. Comes in a tin. And oh, thanks for still being here. Love you too. Yeah, we're just gonna, now this is late night in the Blue Room. Before we were kind of, that was more for educational purposes. At this phase, we're just hanging out. Now, I don't know, maybe you've seen this deck before, Magus. Yeah, the Sun and Moon Tarot. You can kind of see my reflection. It has kind of like a youthful vibe to it. I'm trying to find a good card. And it's also somewhat abstract, which I don't know if I like about it, actually, because what I often really enjoy are the expressions on people, on the faces in tarot. Oh, okay, you have this one. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. But it is like very kind of lighthearted, positive. But there's still, without the expressions, there's still a lot of emotion conveyed. So what I'll do, yeah, I'm gonna pull 3 cards, and oh yeah, I'll show you this too. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Okay, cool. So maybe I can angle this up even a bit more. How's that? Okay, cool. Yeah, so this thing, I got it on Amazon. It was like, I don't know, maybe $9 or something. But yeah, you can like hold the cards. So, you know what? I guess I'll keep shuffling. But yeah, so it kind of lets you, like, it helps for the videos, because I didn't really know how else to film the tarot spreads if I wanted to do one, so kind of cool to have that. But yep, so I'll just shuffle these up a little bit. Got this little blanket, towel, wrap, scarf, whatever you want to call it. Got it in Florida back in April, and I really like it. I bring it when I go meditating. Not the best shuffler, obviously. Forgive me. That one wasn't too bad. But, let's see. Just kind of feeling it out. My friend Owen and he kind of shared it with me, is this idea of like feeling a yes versus a no. Like you just, when do you feel that yes moment? And it's kind of a hard thing to learn to do, I think, for some people. But I think now is a yes moment for me, and I'm going to choose these top 3. Okay. So, yeah, as as you might have seen before if you've watched these, I'm a novice. Um, you know what? Since it's there, I'm gonna light a little candle. What did I do with that thing? I just had it. Let's see, where did it go? Huh. Yeah, I just had a little candle right there. I just don't know where I. Oh, here we go. There we go. Yeah, the scent or the name of this candle is Coffee Shop, and oh, there's a bit of the wick. Yeah, it's got coffee beans right in it. I thought that was kind of cool. That's actually probably why I bought it. I don't even know if I love the smell of it, but yeah, we'll set that here. It's always smart not to light your cards on fire, but we'll see. Um, So yeah, like I said, I'm a beginner. I'm a novice. One thing I do often is like a past, present, future, and I start with the present, and then I go to the past, and then the future, and then sometimes I pull a couple more cards. So we'll start with the present. Seven of Wands. Okay, try to get that to focus a little bit. It says Valor. Yeah, so I'm just going to take a little closer look up here. I don't know. To me, it kind of looks like she's sort of like doing a dance pose, or also you could, because with a staff like that, you could almost say she's like practicing like martial arts or something. Um, and you know what? I think I'm gonna kind of, yeah, run with that idea there. Not the martial arts part, but the practice. She's alone out in the desert, and in the beautiful night sky, and she's practicing. And right now, like tonight, another idea that inspired the video is just the practice. Like we need a practice in our lives to keep us grounded and keep us focused and help with a higher concentration, like I mentioned earlier. We can better keep those good ideas on our mind throughout our day, and that way our actions will be more in alignment with that idea that we're trying to hold, and those values that we care so much about. And it's a shame when you meet someone who doesn't really have any intention in that regard in their life, and they're just kind of in it for themselves, or just, yeah, motivated by the lower frequencies, lower how do I put, like, just things that, oh, there we go, can adjust my light there. Things that we know just are not as like deeply fulfilling as now let's see here. I mean, I'm kind of, so I guess I should just talk more personally. For me, it's like I think what's probably most fulfilling is having a community and connectivity with others. And my own personal motivation is definitely to be a father. That's something I've always thought a lot about and dreamt of. And so, like, I guess, why do I want to do those things? It's like I really just want to yeah, bring, it's like having a positive impact on the earth. And I think I'm going to put a lot of intention in raising my children and making them, great people, and or at least, have a good approach to life in whatever way they want to take it. Um, so yeah, like making that dream come true and having the values that inspire that dream. That's, nothing more than a dream if I don't put action behind it. And concentration is definitely necessary for that action, and the not just the action, but like your yeah, your ability to just efficiently take action. Okay, so I'm just flipping through this little book here. I want to take one little peek at what it says for the Seven of Wands. Faith in experience and intuition to move forward and persevere. Confrontation without compromise. The courage to stick to personal values. Be satisfied with success, even if imperfect. I just love tarot. Like, I mean, doesn't it always just feel perfect? Like, I mean, sometimes you have a reading and it's like, okay, I don't know what happened there. But yeah, I just, especially with these past, present, future readings that I've done, it yeah, it really seems to resonate and hit the nail on the head. I appreciate you saying that, Magus. I know you've probably raised some amazing people, and yeah, I want to do the same. Just I know that that's gonna bring me so much joy, and Jenny, my girlfriend, I know she's gonna be an incredible mom, and I think it's almost it honestly it's almost a oh, there you are. There you are, Jenny. What? She's in the other room there, spying on me. Yeah, like it almost feels like a responsibility. It's like I think I've got it. I think I have that thing that's gonna really be. Yeah, I don't know what I'm trying. I'm getting caught up in my words, but I also know what it's like to kind of have a dad who didn't fulfill all those responsibilities, and that brings me a lot of insight and motivation. And like oh, someone just sorry, I just got a text. Where was I? Sorry, I got a little distracted. Oh, yeah, it's what I always say is like our harshest experiences are the ones that often provide the most insight. And it's unfortunate that we have to go through those harsh experiences, but they provide a pain and discomfort and dissatisfaction that tells us, like, no, this is not right, and I'm gonna find the way. And yeah, I that sort of sums it up as far as my idea about why I want to be a father. But again, so it's the practice. I mean, it's so important. It keeps us grounded, keeps us on task. The Empress, being in the position of the past, let's see. I just want to get it to focus for you guys. I'm taking a closer look here myself. So yeah, it almost for a second I thought it was like a pregnant belly that was exposed, but she's sitting on this floating crescent moon, and she has a bag or some sort of like sack on her lap there, and she's holding some flowers and also what looks like a bottle of holy water. And you have the wildlife just appreciating her presence there, and the trees kind of winding up together like that. So, yeah, I'm trying to draw something out of this one here without referring to the book yet. So yeah, I'm just gonna share with you what popped up for me. Kind of an interesting idea. So as I touched on earlier with that meditation that I've had where where the personality kind of dissolves, And the first time it happened for me, it was so impactful, so strange. Um, I basically, yeah, I forgot my name for like a split second. It was the weirdest thing. Like because I came back out of the meditation, like out of the state that I was in, and I opened my eyes and I looked around my room for a moment or two, and then and then after that there was like this, like, oh right, I'm back. Like, oh yeah, it's me. Like Cole. I still have to, I'm still attached. I wasn't a pure consciousness. Because that consciousness is taking place in this physical vessel that is very much real. Um, but the consciousness itself, to 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 really know it deeply and like understand its qualities and attributes, it was so enlightening to experience that pure consciousness for the first time. Now, why did I bring this up? So that state that I was in, like that was just pure bliss. Like that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Um, what I guess, I'm gonna take a peek at the Empress. But basically, what I wanted to say about that was I um wasn't prepared for that experience. Like or not that I was unprepared, but I didn't know what to make of it. It took so much time to unpack all that and like really, yeah, reflect on what I had experienced to see it for what it was. Because to tell you the truth, initially I was kind of immature and I thought of it almost like a party trick. And it was something I tried to recreate in my meditation, and it actually really knocked me off course in a way. Um, so, the Empress, associated with loving wisdom and Mother Earth, feminine strength and devotion, yin energy, fertility, love for nature, service, abundance. Does that continue on the next page? Okay. Yeah, so the Empress holds a crystal globe with a cross, revealing the wholeness of heart and spirit. An examination. I'll hold this up while I read it. An examination of the inner and external world. Butterflies embody the transformation process. The pigeon, being kind of like up there, is a prophetic bird that reminds us to listen to our inner guide. This air sign denotes awareness. The fleur de lis symbol on her dress. Oh, okay. I didn't notice that actually. Not familiar with that. It the symbol on her dress symbolizes leadership. Like the Tibetan flame symbol, it means unity of spirit, heart, and intelligence. I'll leave it there. So, like, unity of spirit is a great way to put that experience I mentioned. Like, I was just so connected and one because there was no, I wasn't connected to Cole anymore. I was just, and the visual that I had in that time was just like the cosmos. It was very, yeah, very strange. And actually, no, it was the cosmos at first, and then it just went pure black. It was like I was imagining like the space that the material world like lays in. I don't. It's too abstract to even describe, but um. So yes, like there was this. Now it was the practice that allowed me to have this experience. I didn't really know what to make of it at the time, but as I continued to practice, I was able to make sense of it. Now, between here and here, I've lost my way many times and found my way back to some level of well-being and peace. But this last time was especially significant because I had convinced myself that in some way the work was over, that I had reached a understanding that I wasn't going to lose. But that's the thing, is these thought, the mind needs to stay focused, and I didn't keep up on that. And I shouldn't blame myself entirely. Times were changing, and I started school, and had to balance that with work, and also starting a YouTube channel, and all sorts of other things that came up for me recently. But yeah, so it just reminded me, like, yeah, do not get cocky. Like, this practice, like, you have to stay devoted to your practice, or you'll just find yourself tuned out months later, having been on some autopilot, and taken on some ride that you did not want to be on. Future. The Ace of Swords. I am going to refer right to the book with this one. I immediately, I sort of feel like a triumphant feeling coming from that card. But yeah, I think think the book is going to do the trick for us for some reason with this one. Okay. Power. The strength of thinking, mental clarity, and creative thinking. On the handle of the sword is a moon, symbolizing receptive spirit, and two suns for expressing ideas. Oh, I see. I couldn't find it at first. So that's like a crescent moon, and I guess two suns. And two suns for expressing ideas. The snake represents renewal and transformation. The crown indicates widened consciousness, wisdom, and sudden insight. This being in the place of the future. Well, hey, the future is now. I don't know. It's interesting. Oh, we lost Jenny. Okay. Well, love you. So yeah, of course, like I was just saying, I don't want to, this being like the future spot as some goal that we want to achieve. That is a dangerous idea. Like I just said, like, don't think that you can just get to this spot and then go into retirement and just enjoy your enlightenment, or whatever you want to call it. It takes constant work, and thinking, and adjusting with the flow of life. And so what I'll sort of say about this is, like, the power, the strength of thinking, mental clarity, and creative thinking. Those are like the rewards of the practice. I think it also said something about, yeah, the moon symbolizing receptive spirit, this two suns for expressing ideas. Like, that's another kind of example, or like description of a well-functioning mind. It's like you can touch your spirituality, like your consciousness, your inner guide, and you can express that, you can express yourself in a truer way, and more efficiently. And basically, when you fall out of practice, you lose all those things. Like, and I hate to say it, because there's some of the, like, they're people that I like, and they're my coworkers, and you know, fellow students, or whatever, like, just people we run into in life that they have it all going for them, but they're just not conscious. Like, they're again, they're just along for the ride, and I don't want to, like, look down on anyone's behavior, but it's like, if you're just going out to the bars every weekend, and getting wasted and then just like blowing your money on silly things. And um like that, to me, that just looks like someone who's just out of tune with themselves. And this is, I'm not going to name names, but there's someone I know who is on a, well, I'll just say it. I don't think they watch this. They're on their honeymoon right now, and they've been reaching out to uh all sorts of people, and they've been posting things on the internet of their wedding, and it's like, enjoy your honeymoon, like be in the moment, like like you clearly you're out of focus, and you're not soaking in life right now. You're somewhere else. And just again, like at the mercy of an untrained mind, just going from one thing to the next. And these phones, I mean, gee, like we all know it, they're terrible for our concentration. They keep us, they're so tempting to just take our mind away from the present moment. um but here we are with them anyway. Like, they're in our pockets, we're exposed to them, and it's really smart to, again, yeah, set some type of boundary for yourself. um I know this is going long. If you're here, you're here. Appreciate it. But yeah, like, so that's something I just opened a can of worms in my mind. But you have to set boundaries for yourself in this life. Like, you can't just, it's like with the internet, with like the food that we can just walk into the grocery store. What is that there? A little burn mark or something? Anyway, sorry. I get so distracted. Sorry, guys. It's who I am. But we're trying. We're practicing. Um, yeah, internet. Food is just like so seductive these days. It's like just so like we're powerless to it. It's kind of crazy, actually, how like the sugar and like the combination of like the sugar, salt, and fat, it's been weaponized against us, and we're just losing more and more control of ourselves and our attention, and our, yeah, ability to make our own decisions, because yeah, we're just spread so thin. So yeah, with things like the phone, the um drugs and alcohol that are, we have basically free supply to. If you can afford it, you can go out and drink yourself to death. Like, so you have to strategize. And people in our country are just clearly not doing that, and they're not encouraged to do that by any means. And yeah, so it's dangerous out there. Gonna pull another card. It's gonna be an action card. So with all this um, being said, this is something that, I'll kind of reflect on, as far as like, what can I actually do in my life to bring this to fruition, to deepen my understanding with my consciousness, by maintaining and honing in a proper practice, and then reaping the benefits of that practice to then better understand that blissful consciousness that we have access to. Two of Swords, and it says peace. It's kind of hard to call that peace with two swords in your hand, but hey, she's meditating. And wouldn't that be so nice to meditate right on a dock with this nice still lake behind you like that? Oh man. Alrighty. So the Two of Swords, Moon and Libra, and I'm a Libra. Brace yourself for like a foot shot right here. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I've got this little Libra tattoo. Okay, enough of that. It's funny though, I got the tattoo before I knew that was the Libra symbol. I got it because the symbol of the balanced scales meant something to me. Still does. So Moon in Libra, repose, meditative spirit, decisiveness, and making choices. Closed yoga pose shows avoidance of communication and the need for inner balance. Make a balanced choice between the two contradictory possibilities by finding the answer within. Well, that's a tall order, isn't it? Make a balanced choice between the two contradictory possibilities. So, yeah, the avoidance of communication in that closed yoga pose. I guess that's like how she has her arms wrapped up, perhaps. My mom's a yoga teacher. I should know what they're saying exactly, but yeah. So clearly, I did fall out of balance, like I mentioned, and I have many times. But and like I said, it's sometimes the chaos and the discomfort that you find when you're out of balance that sheds light on what you actually need in your life, and what is going to bring you peace versus your current situation or predicament that you're in. Another little incense match here, giving you guys a little fireworks show tonight. So yeah, you just let that burn for like a second and blow it out, and then I just set it in like a little ashtray, and it just goes down. So that's how incense works. Jeez. So yeah, it does require that inner search for what is the choice that I need to make between, or what's going to take, and I'm not really sure how to interpret what it's saying here, but it's kind of like when it says the two contradictory possibilities, it's like one is my dream has been brought to fruition and has come true. The other is me basically succumbing to fear and self-doubt and bad thinking and limiting thoughts, basically, and just letting those have their way with me, and not realizing my potential, or providing what I can to the world, what I'm capable of. So there's this, I guess, an inner struggle happening in her mind. The avoidance of communication, I think, is, I wouldn't say so much avoidant, but I just disregarded the importance of maintaining an awareness over my mind. Like I also was journaling every day, and I need to get back on that. I've been doing it, still probably like every other day or something, but it's since I've been so busy, I've just put that on the back burner, and I'm disappointed about it. But I like I said though, I know it doesn't feel right, so that's probably what's going to inspire me to take it more seriously. So in short, I kind of already touched on a lot of that stuff, but it's like meditating, journaling, stuff like this is really helpful, obviously, self-inquiry, self-reflection. Oh, here we go. So now for the fifth card, I call it like the outcome, as I mentioned. And would you look at what we found? Death and rebirth. This is not a one-off. This doesn't just happen once. And so you this is a constant process in life, especially when you're young. I think you're constantly, I almost want to say, reinventing yourself, because there's so much new information to be had and absorbed, that your understanding of reality and of yourself is constantly being updated. And we come up with these methods, and we find a concept that we think works for us in terms of, again, ourselves and the world we live in. But then something shows us that that understanding was false, that we didn't have it all figured out, and that usually results in discomfort and pain. And it's that pain, that harsh reality that we experience, that drives us to find something better and reinvent ourselves and kind of reincarnate, so to speak. Like I like to think of that self-development as reincarnation in a way. It's like you're taking what was there and you're making something new from it. Not to say that there's no connection to what once was, but and sometimes this process, it's not simple. It's not like you just go down and then the rebirth is always back up. Like sometimes that rebirth, you still find yourself in a position of confusion, and it's not to say that you just have everything figured out, but this outcome, it's like to make a story of the images, it's like there's an understanding here, right? It's like a sort of a factual statement, and that like to get in touch with yourself, it takes a practice. And by doing that practice, that you will reap rewards and benefit, clarity of mind, ability to express your word and your creativity. This is someone who understands that, and is just stuck in the dilemma of like, there still exists like fear and doubt, and what path do I take? What voice do I listen to? And there's an outcome that comes from that choice. And I think, clearly I know what choice I want to make. I did fall to a low state, but felt like I almost reversed a lot of progress, or like reverted back to previous versions of myself. But okay, cool, yeah. That's a no, yeah. The Phoenix is like super. There's so much symbolism behind it, yeah, and the flame. It's just what a powerful. So I immediately think of like Harry Potter, the not the Order of the Phoenix, but the in the second movie. Why can't I think of the name? I don't know. Yeah, they're just another like birds in general. I kind of find like have just a wise and guiding presence. Certain birds, maybe not like a chicken or a seagull or something, but uh, like I filmed a blue heron yesterday, and there's just something. Yeah, they're like so spiritual somehow. But yeah, and I like in this picture how it's sort of like the phoenix is rising her, is like lifting her up. The phoenix being, you know, glad you're here, Magus. Yeah, it's like the fire of truth. It's like that Asha just burning away uh the falsehoods and those bad ideas and those thoughts of fear and doubt and hate and resentment, all these just low frequencies. And it's like I know the truth, and the truth is kind of as I'm saying here. It's just like it's like an equation. It's like 1 + 1 = 2, and it's that simple. And I know this, but can it? And now it's just my like understanding is one thing. Now it's about action and making that choice. Like, what direction do I want to take? Another thing I'm getting from this is like this is sort of a cycle, and I don't want to pretend that I won't be confused again and questioning again. It's okay. I'm okay with that because I'm young, and but even when I'm older, I know that there's always room to reevaluate and find a different approach. And uh, sorry about the cough. Um, yeah. Well, I think that was a success. I'm rambling as always, bit all over the place as I do. It's so strange, this candle, like, I don't know how I feel about it, but yeah, the coffee bean, I guess I'll flip it back over real quick. The coffee bean's just like floating in the wax. Oh, almost let it go out there for a moment. Um, yeah, I always like to, well, I obviously don't have to because it's on film, but I always like to take a picture of my spreads afterwards, because it's definitely a good way to like just bring you right back and remind yourself of what you took away took away that night. Oh, it's already been an hour. It's like I don't want to leave you guys. I just I love it here on Return to Your Nature. I'm so glad. Let me just give all the thanks to you, Magus. Like, I forget, I need to go back and actually see what video it was. Maybe you could help me actually with that. Like, there was one, I think you had said, like, please, let's, like, if you have a message, share it. And, if Asha resonates, like, speak about it, spread the word. And I had already made a YouTube channel in the past, actually. And maybe I'll give you a link to that. It's like I don't really want people to see it. Because it's when I was just such a different person back then. But I was doing something similar where I was trying to be a positive force, but I was just in a place of ignorance myself, and I wasn't in touch with that truth. So I think a lot of the videos I made came from a place of just inexperience and yeah, just lack of a deeper understanding. I was kind of on those lower levels. But so I stopped making videos after maybe like 10 of them or something. But for then the following years afterwards, for 2 years it was, the thought just always lingered in my mind, was just floating around there, like, when are you gonna, like, I like to, I think I've maybe gotten this phrase from you is like a truth knower. It's like I think I have that, like I feel that guide inside of me. And I think I can help people. So it's like, yes, of course I want to I want to spread the word. But I just needed that extra push. And then also in the months prior, I had been watching your videos. I'm not sure exactly when I got Asha, how long before it was that I made a YouTube channel, but Asha really helped me put things into words and like put context behind those understandings that I felt that I had. So I think it gave me the confidence, like, yes, yeah, let me just pull this out. Just because I want to put my hands on it. Oh, yes, it's like, if you're passionate about your message, if you feel as though you have an understanding that can help people, why not share it and live it? And so that, like, Asha, I feel like, was that last piece of the puzzle where it was like, yes, like, this is inside of me. I do I do have it. And I need to let go of that questioning of like, am I right to be, do I deserve to be that person who, not, I don't know if deserve is the right word, but it's like, do I really think I'm some type of like know-it-all or something, but then it was like, yeah, no, why even ask myself that? It's like I am in touch with a understanding. Um, Talking in circles here, but yeah, there was just like a click. It was like, right, this is in me. This is what I'm made of. So why question it? And I'm motivated to speak, and I've always been a talker. So it was just yeah, I and I'm just so glad now. Probably about like 3 months later. It's been, yeah, I'd say it's probably about 3 months like to the day that I've had this channel. So um, it's just been such a great, pleasurable experience, and so beneficial for myself in deepening my own understanding by, like I said yesterday, by forcing to put these things into words. I'm gonna get a little vulnerable here. It's gonna sound I just show you this. So yeah, obviously Hazy passed away, and she was such a beautiful spirit. Um, and so Jenny's mom came by. I think it was the day after or the day of. I don't remember. But she came and gave us this, and it's funny. It really really helps. Like I've just, I have my little spot, so she would always curl up right here while I meditated. And I've been burning this black candle as sort of to remember her. And yeah, so I've just been setting this here, and it's I don't know, it's done the trick. It really has helped. And I just I don't know. Maybe it's silly to cuddle up with a plush toy, but it is so much more than that to me. And yeah, it's helping me get by. I have some video. Hazy would sort of lay up on my chest, and whatever I was doing or thinking about in that moment, when she'd come, like when she'd approach me and kind of make it clear that she wanted to lay on me, it was like there was nothing I could justify doing over that. There's something about her that it was like, right, just be in the moment. Let it all go. Just enjoy this beautiful moment where I can connect with this other being who wants to connect with me. And she would purr, and I would just relax, and it was like, I was never a cat person before Jenny. I had a golden retriever growing up, and I never had a good opinion about cats either. But Hazy changed me. She cracked that bias right open, blew it apart. And I don't know if Scout, my golden retriever, he was also a force to be reckoned with, for sure. And so something I realized is, like, with Hazy and with Scout, and I think it was Amy W. who said this. She left a comment. Something about that they live on in our dreams. And sometimes I get a visit from Scout where it's like he's literally, it's like he's just coming up to say hi. Well, like I have a dream where I'm doing something, and he'll just come up and he'll like breathe on me, lick me. And it's like, just, oh, it's so special. And what that made me kind of realize is, like, it's not just in our dreams, it's at any point. It's almost like I can sorry, I'm having this coughing fit. Okay. It's kind of like I can look within myself and find the spirit of Hazy or Scout, or not even just pets or people who have passed, but like people who are still here. It's like, what would they say if they were in the room right now? Because I know them so deeply. It's like I could almost just ask them and they'd respond in my mind. Another one, and this is a Hindu god, Ganesh. I'm not extremely familiar with the mythology behind Ganesh, but there's a great deal of like symbolism and just concepts that I associate with Ganesh. The main one being like facing your obstacles head on. Like he's got the head of an elephant. Um, and just like not shying away from what's there in front of you, but facing it and confronting it. And sometimes I'll sort of ask myself, like, yeah, what would Ganesh do? What would Ganesh say in these moments? And then I'll almost like try to listen for like the voice of like what he would actually say. Um, I think Carl Jung did something similar like this and called it active imagination. And sometimes, like, so I know you mentioned, Magus, if you're there still, this place between like awake and asleep, where you're able to receive spirit, and yeah, I kind of had an experience like that this morning. It was strange. I had this sort of, it was like a vivid dream, but I knew that it wasn't real life, but I didn't act as if it was not real life. You know, it was like, I just kind of like went along with it. I walked into an office. It was a therapy office, before my brother had just been in there and he walked out. So we were doing some type of like family therapy, I guess. And it was this Asian woman with like kind of a very like kind of blank or almost like disconnected expression on her face, like she couldn't care one way or another. And she noticed that my voice was raspy right away. And and I remember this, she made this tonic for me where she took like honey and garlic and onion and what else was in? Oh, and ginger. And she mixed it up and made like a tea and put that in there. And I drank it and it was like very soothing and healing. And she asked me if I wanted more and I said yes. And she gave me another cup and like, she didn't really, it wasn't like a therapy session. It was like just to heal. It was like she didn't even I don't think she really asked me many questions. I remember I did start telling her like that, you know, I had been struggling with school and like the balancing act of work and school and life and whatever. And she just listened, and you know, it was like so soothing. And when I woke up from that, or like when I sort of came to like that, I realized that I was in just such a relaxed state. And right after that, I went and meditated and just was in like I just it was it was almost like I could feel that soothing feeling on my throat. It was like some force had just came and like relieved me basically. Um and it was beautiful. And I was able to I don't know, like just really carry that energy throughout my day. But other times it's like I just wake up in like a haze and kind of don't really have that guide there as much. So I don't know what determines that. I just got a great night's sleep. That was part of it, maybe. I don't know. But I think my voice is looking for some rest. So you know, again, I just don't want to say goodbye. I just don't want to say goodbye. But if you're still here, feel free to do your thing. But we're just gonna end it off here tonight with a brief little meditation. I'm gonna set the timer for 5 minutes, and you know, when I open my eyes after this, if you're there, you're there. If not, we're cool. Have a great rest of your night. But let's pump that muscle. You know, when the thought goes out, let's bring it back and just witness the consciousness as it is. Alrighty. Love you guys. Good night. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's one more tick to make it silent. Well, have a great night, guys. I will see you next time. Thanks for being here.